When I first became a dental clinic owner, I thought that if I worked hard, I was good at dentistry, and I treated patients well, and I was relatively busy, the business would naturally grow. And to some extent, that is true. You obviously need to be a good dentist. Your skills have to be there. You need to take care of your patients. Of course, patients need to like you, and you need to show up, obviously, to do the work. But what I realized is that being a good dentist and building a successful dental clinic are two completely different skill sets. We were never taught how to run a successful dental clinic, or basically a successful business. Even if you worked in other dental offices, you were probably learning what you shouldn't do. Very rarely will you find a dental office that runs like a great business and performs great dentistry at the same time. In school or through working as an associate, we were never taught basic business principles like creating demand, leading a team, reading your numbers, systems, managing people, positioning your clinic in a certain way, or creating a business that can function and grow without you personally doing every single thing. And the thing is, when you buy a clinic, you're usually learning all of this while you're also treating patients, while you're also dealing with problems, figuring out what to do next, reviewing treatment plans, managing expenses, whatever it is. So are you really learning, or are you just trying to stay afloat, right? You can't effectively learn when you're just trying to survive. It's just too much. So with that said, I want to break down the 4 things that I wish I understood much earlier as a new dental clinic owner. There are no clinical tips in this video, by the way. I know we dentists love clinical videos. My most watched videos are clinical videos, but that isn't this video. In this video, I'm going to go over or cover what completely changed how I looked at clinic ownership and what helped us grow our own clinic. And the first thing is, I wish that I knew that your goals are probably too small. And what do I mean by that? When most dentists buy a clinic, their first goal, like I said earlier, is survival. You want to make your loan payment. You want to keep existing patients or add new ones if you're doing a startup. You want to work with a new team, or you're working with a new team, increasing production, and so on and so on and so on. You're hoping to make the same, if not a little bit more, than when you were an associate, right? And obviously, that makes sense. When you first take over, everything just feels uncertain, or it is uncertain. You have a large amount of debt that you're paying. You're responsible for payroll every single week, every 2 weeks, whatever it is. So as a business owner, your mind defaults to let me be conservative. You think, let's just keep everything stable. Like, let's not change too much. Let's just grow by 5, maybe 10% if we're lucky. 99% of dentists do this, but it's the wrong way to think. And if I were to repeat everything, I wouldn't do it like this. Small thinking or defensive, limited thinking is going to result in small growth, always. And it's very hard to get out of that mindset. Like, look, if your goal is to grow by 5%, you are probably going to look for 5% solutions, right? You're not going to be thinking big. And in my life, whenever I've thought big, it's always worked out. Yes, it's scary. Yes, you're going to be more anxious than you already are. Thinking what the hell you're doing. Is it even right? At like 1 a.m. And you're going to be thinking about it every single night. But guess what? That means you're doing the right thing. It's funny, but it's true. Anytime in life that you encounter hard things, always pursue those hard things. If you're scared of accomplishing something, that means that you should do it. Always, always, always go towards the harder thing. Larger goals, scarier goals require you to ask yourself better questions. Like in dentistry, like what kind of dentistry am I doing? Does the community even understand what we do? Are we presenting comprehensive treatment as much as we can? Are patients accepting the treatment that we diagnose? What is our office experience? Do we even have an office experience? How well trained are my intake team? Is our team structured properly? Are we using the doctor's time correctly? So many things, systems, marketing, technology. There's a lot that goes into it that you need to ask yourself when you look for bigger things. These things don't just happen because you decide to grow 5 to 10% a year, keeping it safe, right? Always remember, the bigger the target, not just the numbers, but everything, the more opportunities that you're going to see. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to see them if your target isn't big. So the lesson is this: stop underestimating what you can accomplish in 3, 5, or 10 years, because you are only looking at your current environment and setting goals based on what the clinic looks like today. You are not permanently limited by the clinic that you have right now or that you started right now. You're only limited if you assume everything has to stay the same as when you bought your clinic. And the second part of this lesson is that there's no finish line. I'm still trying to come to terms with this, but it isn't a game that you complete and then bam, game over, right? It's continuous improvement and growth and learning and change. A lot of new clinic owners have this idea that once they hit like a certain production number, an associate hire or pay down your loan or whatever it is, everything is going to suddenly feel finished. You think once we reach XYZ, I can finally relax. And then you reach that number or specific goal, and then almost immediately you start seeing the next problem. The schedule is full, but now you don't have enough chairs for enough dentistry. You add chairs, then you need more assistants or an associate. You hire more people, new issues come up that you need to solve. You increase your marketing, but now your phone systems and your whole office flow has to improve to do well in marketing. Every new level of growth expresses something new, right? It's never ending. A big mistake that I see dentists make is thinking successful ownership means eventually reaching this point where nothing needs to improve. And that point doesn't exist. In fact, if you feel like that, you're likely regressing slowly. You have to think of it as a game that never ends, that you always have to keep playing until you completely just leave dentistry, especially if you want to do it well. And why wouldn't you? What's the point in spending so much money and time and not want to do it at the highest level? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Check out the book, The Dip by Seth Godin. I love the line in there that goes, if you can't realistically become the best in your specific field or market, you should quit. Being average is a waste of effort. And to reiterate, there is no finish line, but that is also what makes clinic ownership exciting. You are constantly building, you're constantly solving new problems. You're constantly becoming a better leader and creating a better business that brings fulfillment to so many people, okay? And the third thing that I wish I knew is that your community does not automatically know you or trust you. And this is very, very important when you buy an existing clinic. You might purchase a practice that has been in the community for like decades, 20 years, 30 years. And because the office already has patients, phone number, building, like a Google profile, you automatically assume the community knows who you are, what type of dentist you are. They know the previous owner and they have an allegiance to them, but they don't know you or anything that you stand for. Why is your clinic different, or you? Why should they trust you with their care? You have to build and earn that trust over time. And this was something that I underestimated early on. I thought that if we did great dentistry and treated patients very, very well, the word is naturally going to spread and I'm just going to get so much dentistry. You might offer implants, you might offer veneers, cosmetic dentistry, whatever it is. But if the community still thinks of your office as the place they go to twice a year for cleanings, those services might as well not exist. Patients do not know how skilled you are just because you attended a good dental school and you did CE, hundreds of hours of CE and whatever it is. You need to slowly demonstrate to the community and your existing patient base that you are not only a great dentist, but a dentist that they can trust. And that takes time. It's not going to happen right away. But the fastest way that you can make that happen, like right away, is through marketing and promoting yourself all over social media. And dentists sometimes feel uncomfortable with this. They say, I do not want to promote myself because I just want my work to speak for myself. But your work cannot speak for yourself if no one has seen it, right? Especially if you're playing the long game, trying to earn the trust of the existing patients or whatever it is. You need to bring in new batch of patients every month. When you bring in those new batch of patients, if you have changed their lives or you did some kind of treatment on them, show the story. If you help someone smile confidently, again, talk about the process. Use those new patients and procedures to build your reputation over time on the outside. And it'll also grow internally too. And your team is going to buy more into it and they're going to talk more about it. And marketing isn't just about attracting these patients through some like direct offers, right? When it's done properly, it's basically education. It's creating enough familiarity that when the patient finally is like ready to come to your clinic, that's what they think of. They already have this connection with you. I mean, look at Appa, right? Appa, the cosmetic dentist. The man is still doing content and videos when he's extremely successful and he has a huge brand. He probably doesn't even need to do those videos. So what is your excuse? Why aren't you making any videos? What kind of brand do you have? Okay. The fourth thing that I wish I knew is that you need to learn from other people because there are shortcuts. We're very used to learning through formal education. We go through years of school, we complete structured programs, we take CE courses, and then we learn one procedure at a time. But when it comes to business, a lot of dentists suddenly decide they need to figure out everything out for themselves. I don't know why, but it's crazy when you think about it. Probably the hardest thing to learn because you have no background in it, and then you try to learn it by yourself. And then they build their own systems from scratch, they test random marketing ideas, and then they spend years solving problems that they're probably solving wrong in the first place. And I understand why. We have huge egos. We do great dentistry, so we think we can be great at running a clinic, a business too. This is my clinic, right? I should be able to figure it out. You probably can figure it out. The question is, how long is it going to take you to figure it out? How expensive are your mistakes going to be? And how much unnecessary stress are you willing to go through to figure it out? How much time are you willing to spend? And I'm going to tell you this, there are very few problems inside a dental clinic that no one else has experienced. Someone else has already struggled through what you're currently going through. So find those people. You do not need to copy everything another clinic does. Your clinic, your community, your team, you are different. But the foundations, 80% are the same. You should absolutely learn from people who are already where you want to go. That is the shortcut. Stop wasting time. Think about clinical dentistry. If you wanted to learn a complex procedure, you would not just watch one video, just buy the instruments and then start experimenting, right? Dentists do this with business. Stop doing this. You're already wasting hours and like thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars over your lifetime if you keep dragging it on. One conversation with the right person can save you months or years. And when you're inside your clinic every day, it's so hard to see these things because everything feels normal to you because you're used to it. You need someone to look at your clinic from above, right? From the outside, to give you like an outside, a different perspective. You should also learn from multiple people, from dentists who have built clinics that you respect, businesses that you respect, learn from business owners outside of dentistry. You do not need to accept every piece of advice, but the most successful clinic owners I know are constantly learning. They ask questions. They visit other clinics. They join groups. They hire coaches. They study businesses outside of dentistry. And they look at what's working, what's not working, how can I adapt this to my situation? And this is where a lot of clinic owners become frustrated. They say, I just want to do dentistry. I don't want to deal with all of these other business stuff. But you chose to own a business. You bought the business. The business side is not some annoying distraction from ownership. It is ownership. It's what you need to be doing if you want to run a dental clinic. You do not need to personally love every part of it. You can hire people who are better than you in specific areas, and you can delegate a lot, but you need to do it. So when I look back, these are the 4 things that I wish I knew earlier. Your goals are probably too small, and the clinic that you own today does not determine what it could become tomorrow, so think bigger. There's no final destination where the business never needs to improve again. That's never going to happen. Every level of growth, there's a new challenge. Your community does not automatically know you or trust you. You need to intentionally communicate who you are, what you do, and why patients should choose your clinic, even from the internal aspect of it. And then there are shortcuts, but usually they come through learning from people who have already done or solved what you want to do with your life and your clinic. Buying a dental clinic can be one of the best decisions you ever make. It can give you freedom, financial opportunity, more control, and the ability to create an incredible place for both your patients and your team and your community. But it can also be very, very overwhelming if you assume that working harder as a dentist is going to solve business problems. And that is exactly what we help dental clinic owners do with Clinical Climb. We look at where your clinic is today, where you want it to go, and what is currently holding you back from going there, and what you need to prioritize next. One-on-one. This is all one-on-one with shadowing too. So if you're interested, just click the link in the description or send me a DM on Instagram at Dr. Chris Bono. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.